So, Pa, just looking back now on last weekend's game, just what are your thoughts on the performance from the boys?
What I thought. I think they know what I thought. I mean, for the fans, I think it was a wonderful game. For head coach, it was a headache. But it's all right. We live and we learn. Full credit and respect to Texoma. We should never allow 4 goals, but we did, and we've rectified it through conversations with the players. But coming back and scoring 5 goals, that's what I'm pleased with, because I think we've been due to score those goals. But conceding, I was not happy with it.
Where do you think the struggle was defensively then?
In the mind.
Is that something that's kind of been a year-long struggle? Because, I mean, like, giving up goals. You guys have scored a ton of goals, but you've given up a fair share, too.
Yeah, we scared. Again, listen, somebody score 1, you score 2. Right? You're not coming to watch a 0-0 game, are you?
Well, Rising fans have seen a lot of that over the years.
Exactly. Right? So we rather win. And sometimes you give up goals. That's part of football. And that only comes through mistakes that we can rectify. In the beginning of the season, yes, we were giving up some goals that we could. But we've also been very stable after the Detroit game. And I felt like that was a turning point. Again, you go away in Charleston, you lose. But, the result is a little bit deflated, because I thought that we had the majority of the game, but we learned something from that game, which is to be clinical with our chances. Against Texoma, I think we were clinical against our chances, but then we give away some that is we shouldn't. But again, that's part of football, and I'm looking forward to see how we respond against Lexington on Friday.
I think you said after the game that you guys needed to do a better job of getting the basics right and doing some of those things. And Charlie just came in here and echoed a similar sentiment at training today. What has been, the process of keeping this team mentally focused and mentally sharp, and knowing that they have more work to do?
Well, we all have we have our work to do, and it's not only about keeping mentally; it's about just also them understanding what it requires. Yes, you can mentally keep somebody sharp, but also equally they have the responsibility and the accountability to keep themselves sharp and understanding what is asked of them. And I'm very pleased because they do it, and sometimes you have a mental lapse, which we all do. We human, right? For me, it's the human being, right? And the human being at times do have lapses, but it's getting back to the basics, doing the simplest things right, because when you do it in the grand scheme, everything becomes good. But when you forget the little details, the big picture is not going to be right.
How much are you looking forward to being back at Rising Stadium for a game, for being on the road for so long?
Being on the road is it's part of the nature. Obviously, you always want to be at home, sleep in your own bed, eat your own good food rather than being a hotel food of this. But that's the part that we chose. We chose to be professional, so that's something that we have to do. But being at home, obviously, that gives you something different, and hopefully we can enjoy that after being on too many flights.
Coach, ¿a qué debe la mejoría? You speak Spanish, right? You told me, Kyle, right?
I don't.
Yeah. ¿A qué se debe la mejoría del inicio de la campaña a lo que está jugando ahora el Phoenix Rising?
Uno más.
¿A qué se debe? ¿Qué ha mejorado? ¿En qué ha mejorado el equipo?
Para mí este equipo es momental, está muy bien, mentalidad está muy bien, todo y trabajar duro, pero para mí la temporada es muy larga, temporada de América es muy larga, se la todo cansado un poquito de la cabeza, está normal, porque es profesional, la gente, es normal y son perdo un poco de cabeza.
We've talked about how the Heat could play to y'all's advantage, with teams visiting. How do you incorporate that, if at all, into training or into the game plan as you host players here, teams here?
Well, it's always important that where you are, that you use the advantages that you have. We have an advantage that could be very valuable to us, and obviously, we also know the advantages it brings, and it's for us to utilize that very well, and I think we do it. So for us, nothing changes in the way that we prepare for games or training. It's because, and again, it's about us. It's about what we do, and if we do the little things right and the basics right, I believe this is one of the best teams.
Coach, you have a military appreciation night coming up Friday. What's one thing you want to share about the club to military families and professionals?
Well, obviously, I'm not American, but I do appreciate what military does around the world when it's done right. Obviously, when I look at ourselves as footballers, we're nothing special. So you guys are special because you go defend your country. We get to play football, so there's a huge difference in that. And I could not imagine how it feels to be in your field when you guys have to go to a battle, emotionally what you guys go through, and physically what you guys go through, which is very taxing. So for me, I have a lot of respect for people that, do serve their country to the best of their ability and defend them the right way, which is always the most important thing. So being a footballer, I can say thank you very much for allowing us, to safely do our sport without need to worry about what can happen to us. You're welcome, sir.
The last couple of coaches that Charlie has been under, both here and in Tampa, have profiled him more as like a number 8, number 10.
Mm-hmm.
You've played him more as a right winger, and he scores a hat trick at the weekend. What are some of the things that you saw in him as a player that made you think this is where he can best help our team?
Obviously, in our system and in the way that we want to play and giving players a lot of freedom, with the qualities that Charlie possesses, I think it was best for us to utilize him higher up because he has a golden left foot which allows him to cut inside, play inside, but also he has that 8 mentality and he's versatile. And when you're versatile, that helps the team as well. And looking at the people that we could combine him with and to play, I think he is creating a good partnership with Colin. Obviously he knows him, but he could give us extra goals, extra assists from that position, and that's one of the reasons why we chose to play him higher, also to help him get into those positions.
Charlie said kind of as the older guy in the room, he's kind of got to be a leader for the younger guys. How have you seen him just kind of lead by example?
Oh, for the past 7 months, he's matured a lot because he's also been injured, and just to see what he brings to the team when he's not injured, which has been for 3-4 months, and the eagerness that he brings, the talk that he brings, the guile that he brings to the team is very important, and he's not old, by the way. He may be old in football terms, but he's still young. He's just 29 years old, so that's not old. So for me, it's fantastic to see players that look at themselves as role model for the younger players and also be somebody that could be an impactful person and impactful player for us.
How's the team looking at the moment in terms of injuries and availability?
Well, we quite happy with where we are, to be fair. Obviously, Mo is out. You know that Papi is getting his way back in. Remy is doing good. And so knock on wood, we couple of more days, maybe a week or two, and we all get back to where we need to be. So as a coach, that's always welcoming when you can have all your players available.
You go back 2 months ago and you talked about how it was a very important time for Pop and growing as a leader and learning that side, not being able to be on the field with his teammates. What have you seen from him as a person in this time?
Well, I've seen a lot of growth in him as a person, and again, that's the most important part because as a player, you only play for 90 minutes, but as a person, you have to grow every day, and adversities is something that is needed in human being. Right? Sometimes we think it's not, but it really is because it helps you grow, it helps you understand who you are and what you want to become, and that gives you sometimes a whole new perspective as well, because as a player you're so much into your job every single day, so sometimes you miss the bigger picture that is happening around you, and sometimes taking a step back or a 2-step back really do help you as a human being. So we've seen a lot of growth in him, but as well it makes you brings back that little bit of the desire and the determination to want to come back and help your team, which is sometimes also very important for a human being, because you do, I'm not saying he has, but you do kind of lose that a little bit because you're taking it for granted.
Just out of curiosity, when do you think the last time you guys played at home was? Do top of your head?
Come on, man, New Mexico. 3-3. Penalties.
Don't think that's true. Did you play Orange County yet?
So if you know, why you ask me the question?
Because I just wanted to, because it just kind of speaks to how long it's been since you guys have been.
Well, then ask me how long it's been.
But I just wanted to see, like.
We play so many games.
Has it felt that long? Like.
Well, it felt that long, now you say it.
Yeah. All right.
Coach, el Valle tiene una gran cantidad de hispanos. Phoenix, una cantidad de hispanos. ¿Qué mensaje les puede dar a los hispanos para que vengan a apoyar al Phoenix Rising?
Panos.
¿Cómo?
¿Qué es a panos?
Hispanos, latinos, Hispanics.
Oh. Para mí es muy importante no solo de comunidad de latinos, sino comunidad de todos, porque el fútbol está por todos. Para mí es muy importante la comunidad de latinos, comunidad de africanos, comunidad de blancos, son todos una venir, porque por el fútbol está por todo. Cuando tú miras el club mundial, es todo personas acá, está no solo más de un comunidad fútbol, está en comunidad por todo gente del mundo.
Obviously, we've seen Daniel's not played minutes with Guatemala off on international duty, but what do you think he's getting from that experience of just making the same?
Huge. Again, of course, we wish all our players to able to play games, with their national teams, because they represent us as much as they represent themselves, their families. So for us to able to have somebody who is in the semi-finals in the Gold Cup, playing against the US, is massive. And obviously that experience, hopefully when he come back to us, that will help shape him as well as a person, but also as a player, to help the team, achieve the goals that we set out to achieve this year. So hopefully he can get some minutes, or even, I don't know if he's going to be on the bench, but if he is, I hope he gets some minutes.
When you look at Lexington as a team, they're one of the more informed teams lower down the table in the Western Conference. They're no longer bottom. Have they, in your mind, made any changes that have helped them have some more success over the last couple of weeks?
Well, we've seen that they've made some changes, but if I tell you, then we're playing the game on Saturday. So we'll keep that to ourselves, but we do see they've made some couple of changes. Yes, they won 2 games in a row, so it's very tight in the Western Conference if you look at the table, but for us it's just focusing about what we can do. And again, we've been away for a long time, so it's nice to start this home series with a victory.
This Friday will mark the halfway point in the regular season. When you look back on the year as a whole...
Now, when you look back...
When you look back on the year as a whole, what do you think is...
No, you tell me.
I'm telling you what you think is the area...
No, I'm curious what you think. I'm curious when you think after the game of Detroit. I don't forget. Come on now, tell me.
What do I think?
Yeah, you.
Better at finishing off games compared to earlier on in the year. Better at starting games compared to the very start of the year. And you can see a lot of goals early on.
Oh, there's your answer then. Right? Because I told you, right? Struggle don't last forever. Right? No, the difference is, again, like I say, you're always going to have your turning points in this game of football. But again, if you focus on doing the right things, results are results. That's not outcomes that we as a team can control. But we can do control how our performance are and our work ethic to get to the results that we desire to have. But is it in our control? No. Is the work in our control? Yes. And we've seen that the work has been in our control, and therefore we're getting result. Again, it goes back to do the little things right.
We're in July now. We're kind of closing on the point where kids who have to go off to college start to go. So when you look at not only Braxton, who might have a choice to make on a pro contract or going in the collegiate direction, but the other players that you've had around your team that might be going off, how do you replace those players in your training group, and what do you think of Braxton's decision that he has to make?
Obviously, it's a tough decision for Braxton. I was fortunate enough myself to be in a similar situation in Norway when I was 16, and being offered pro contract and also have to make school decisions. Obviously, it's a little bit different in Europe, where you do have the professional contract, and you can still train and you can go school in the afternoon. College is obviously different, and we understand how important college is in America, for that experience, but also for your schooling. And we as a club, we do want the players to have both experience, and at times, it's a tough decision that he has to make, but he's put himself in a great position to make a decision that is going to be great for him and his family, because he's a fantastic kid. I love working with him. My coaching staff love working with him, and the players love him. We love him, and selfishly, I want to keep him. That's just the reality of it. I'm not going to lie about it, because I think he has a great future in football. But also, I do believe that together with his parents, they will make the choice that they believe is right for them. And we as a club will always support our players, because they represent us. If he decides to go to college, he will represent the brand Phoenix Rising. But also, he's created a pathway where the younger players in our academy sees that there's opportunities for them to be seen, for them to get minutes. So we're very happy with that. So how we replace him is, again, looking back into our academy and see who's the next Braxton if he decides to go to college. Cross fingers.
Other questions in the room?
So there's been a lot of talk in the Club World Cup and the World Cup coming up as well about just the weather here in the US and the heat in the summer and storms and all of that. Just wondering your thoughts on that discussion.
It's the same everywhere around the world. Sometimes you get heat strokes in Europe, don't you? Right? In Euros, there were some heat strokes, right? I don't know why the complaint is. When millions are hitting your bank, you don't complain. So it's very simple, right? That's the beauty of America. You get to go play in different weathers, and then that happen, right? Can we control it? No. We can't control the weather, can we? But we can control how we represent football, and that's for me is the most important thing. Right? Weather's everything else we can't control. I'd rather take the heat, and I come from Norway. Imagine them playing in -20, right? They're gonna complain. If it's 15 degrees, it's too cold. If it's a little bit red, it's good. Let's go on our business. Simple as that. There's a lot of people that struggle more than we talk about heat stroke around the world. Some people don't have homes. Some people are being bombed. Some people don't know where their next meal is coming from. And we complain about the weather. Come on.